Demolition Builds, and welcome to part 7 of the Demolition Derby Car series. Kind of a little bit of a slower little intro today. Probably will make absolutely nobody watch this video, but whatever. Today we're beginning to work on the fuel system. Now, according to the rules of this derby that I'm going to be entering, I have to remove the main tank. I then have to put a boat type tank, which I have, or an equivalent thereof, into the back passenger seat behind the driver's seat of the vehicle. I then have to run a fuel line that has to be steel going through the firewall, and then connect it back up to the old system. Now, in the last episode, I wired a switch up to the battery. That is then going to run from the switch to the fuel pump, as we have to have a off switch since my car is fuel injected. And according to the rules, if you have a fuel injected car, you have to run a off switch from wherever your power supply is to the fuel pump, so you can turn off the fuel pump from inside of the car. So basically what our goals are today is to, one, get a new fuel system all rigged up, including the tank, the fuel pump, which is an inline fuel pump, all the cabling and all that to the engine. It is then to remove the old gas tank, because it cannot be anywhere in the car. Even if it's not being used, it has to be completely and totally taken out. After that, it is pretty much into the home stretch for this project. I then have to reinforce the driver's door with some steel rectangular stuff, which I have behind me. It's a little bit hard to see, but it is back there. I then have to pad the driver's side door, which is probably all I'm going to get to in this episode. I still have a couple more odds and ends to take care of. Obviously, paint the car, because I ended up getting a sponsor for this car, so I'm going to have to paint it and then paint the job and put all their logos on it, which is not that big of a deal. After padding the driver's side door, I plan on removing the wheel weights from the tires that are on the car, because this car was on the road at one time and they were actually balanced, which is surprising because the rest of this car honestly feels like it's going to fall apart at any moment. But the first thing I have to do is I have to get the gas tank ready to actually hook up to the fuel system. And hopefully, I bought a box of these hose barb fittings, which, thanks to the lovely, crappy Chinese quality of a box they use, is now a complete and total fucking mess. Hopefully, one of these barbs will fit into the gas tank I have, and I'll just be able to tie my barb basically onto that tank and run a line off the existing tank. Okay, so this is a fuel tank I have. I have a brand new cap on it, actually. That was like 20 fucking bucks, which is kind of ridiculous. But here is where the fuel, I guess it's supposed to come out of or go into or whatever. Basically, I'm going to try to use one of the barbs I have, hook it into here, and see if it will work. If not, there's another hole here that I still have to plug that I can use perfectly fine. Okay, and I found one that works. Actually, that was like the second one. I'm actually probably not going to edit that because that actually was pretty good. But that is the barb that will work for the fuel tank. Actually works pretty well. So I'm actually going to get some thread sealer thing, some thread tape, whatever the heck it's called. I don't know, it's paint. So basically I'm just going to put that on there and get it in there so it won't leak like a sieve, because I'm not allowed to have leaking gas, which kind of is understandable. I'm no plumber, but I don't think it's supposed to look like that. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go get some new actual tape rather than this compound. Yeah, that doesn't. Even the smell doesn't give me much fucking confidence. So yeah. Alright, and we're back from two different stores because the first one didn't have exactly what I needed. But I got some ratchet straps, those to hold down the gas tank and the cover that's eventually going to go on the gas tank. And then I got some plastic welder, because I have to have a cover on that one hole so it's not an open fucking hole in the gas tank, because I don't think the judges would really like that. So I'm going to 3D print one, and I'm just going to use this plastic welder to weld it shut. Sounds good to me, but I don't know. Then I got some, of course, the stuff I actually went to get, which I almost forgot. The pipe thread compound, and then I just got some more hose clamps and some of the whole pipe straps. to hold down the gas lines that are going to be running through the floorboard, because I feel like this would be better. Of course, I can just use zip ties, but I feel like this might be a little better. Okay, so the tank has to sit basically behind the driver's seat. Basically right there, actually. That fits surprisingly well, actually. And then the plan is for the ratchet. Then the plan is for the ratchet straps basically to run down to this little wall thing, have one run there, pretty much run up to here, have one run from down there, pretty much up to here, I think, to make a cross over it. And then we're just gonna lay some rubber mat over the top for our fireproof wall around it, and probably put a strap in around like that to keep the plastic, but to keep the rubber mat down. Pretty simple. So now I guess the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get the gas tank secured. I think that will be the best thing to do next, because I kind of got to figure out which way the fuel pump is pumping, because I bought a cheap one from China because I didn't want to spend a whole bunch of money, because this product's already expensive enough. But basically, it's not marked. I believe I know which way it's gonna go, but I'm not 100% sure. So because of that, what I'm gonna quickly do is secure down this tank so I can put a little bit of gas in this thing, so I can get the fuel pump hooked up to here, hooked up to the battery and all that, then just see which way it's gonna pull. I didn't even know this fucking existed, but they do. So, whoops. But I think it's all right. I think. I doubt. Yeah, that is. No bueno. Let me get some ratchets from my truck, and then we'll see if that actually will help, or if it's just a bad spot to even put this. Oh yeah, that fucking thing ain't going nowhere. Holy shit. So now the next thing I'm gonna do, I think I'm gonna cut another hole in here and another one in here on the other side before I put gas in it, because, well, call me a dumbass, but I don't really think it's a good idea to grind in here when there's gas in this thing. What? Controversial opinion, I know, guys. I know. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna try to do, I'm just gonna try to get the fuel pump wired up. Okay, so now time to wire this to the pump. Positive is the smaller one, negative is the bigger one. I think the gas is getting sucked in this way and getting spit out that way. Kind of makes more sense that one have a barb because that one's having pressure going out. This one makes more sense because it has a filter in on the inside. I don't know if you can see it. I think you can see it. It's got a filter in there. So I'm going to hook this end up to my tank over there. Then I'm going to just dump, I don't know, a gallon or so of gas in that tank and just see what happens. Okay, so this is what I ended up having to do to the fuel pump. I just soldered the wires on because they weren't sticking on worth the fuck. Yeah, and then I got the hose on, which I don't think that's exactly how I'm supposed to do it. I think I'm supposed to buy another fucking piece, but whatever. It's on, and I'm just gonna hose clamp it twice so it stays on. Basically, I just heated up the hose and shoved it in because it always works that way. I will be coming back later on and probably zip tying it or something right to here. But for right now, this is perfectly fine because I'm just gonna take a bucket. I'm gonna put a little bit of gas in this thing, take a bucket, put it in that, connect it to the battery, turn this thing on, see if it pumps fuel, and I hope it does because I really don't want to reconnect that again. That was kind of a bitch. So I have this bucket here because I didn't really want a bunch of gas all over the inside of this car. Put that in it, so if it turns on, then the gas is just gonna go right in here. I don't have to worry about it. Connect that. Should just... Oh, let's go, buddy. Keep pumping gas. Pump a little bit more. Hell yeah, brother. Got it. She works. Beautiful. So now that we know the pump works, it's time to get that secured onto here. And then begin to run pipe all the way along to here, up and under there. I'm gonna run metal lines, I think, all the way along here, and then rubber from the pump to the metal. And then I'll have to switch back to rubber, then back to metal, then back to rubber again to get all the way up to the engine. But yeah, let's do it. Okay, so now before I go any further, I'm gonna clamp this and down there twice. I don't know if they need to be twice for the regulations, but kind of makes it sound like they have to be. So as to not avoid a problem, I'm just gonna hose clamp them twice. All those clamps are on. Now it's time to get that up there. Now I'm going to do the same thing I did on the other side by putting 2 hose clamps over the ends of the hose. Okay, so now it's time to do the really hard part, which I'm probably not going to show just because of how, like, there's going to be no room for be able to even see. Basically, I have to take that line, I'm going to run it into a rubber line, and then run a steel line, which I have to run through the firewall, and then hook it back up to a rubber line on the other side, which will come out about right in there, and then that will run all the way up to here, where the fuel lines go. I'll probably see you guys once this is all done, because it's gonna take me a minute. and it is going to be very frustrating, and it is going to be in very tight spaces where you guys won't be able to even see. So I'll just show you guys, right? Holy shit. We got the fuel lines in. I know it's really, really hard for you to see, probably because it's something called McFucking-Night right now. Actually, you can see a lot. Just can't see a lot down there. Okay, anyway, basically, we got the fuel line in. This is the bottom fuel line that is going to be run back to the gas tank, because if you don't, for those that don't know how car works, basically you have two fuel lines. One that is feeding it from the gas tank, so that's the one that has the fuel pump in it. That one's feeding into the engine, and then whatever gas doesn't get burned up in the engine, you have another line that feeds gas back out. That's so the engine doesn't become flooded when it's mid-running, and also you're saving a little bit of gas, which is good, because this thing has like 25, like a flow rate of like 25 gallons per hour. So imagine if you had to use 25 gallons of gas per hour in this fucking thing. It'd be like 1 hour driving that's in the thing. So because of that, it runs gas back to the fuel pump, the fuel tank, and it will deposit it back in there. That's why I haven't closed up that second hole yet, because I basically want to put a pipe down into whatever the heck I'm going to cover that hole, which is going to be probably some 3D printed piece I'm going to make in the house real quick. And then basically I'm going to have basically I'm going to have a pipe that goes into that, and it will dump fuel back into the tank, so it's not, wasting a whole bunch of gas. And also because that's the only way you're able to do it, because that's how the engine works. So yeah, tomorrow I got to go to the hardware store, auto parts store. I got to get more of this fuel line, and basically I just got to get more of that fuel line. And then we're going to do the same I did in here. You really can't see that. Okay, basically there's a steel tube, and then it runs from that plastic one that's down there back to a steel one, back to that rubber one. So I got to get 10 more feet of that rubber shit, and I have enough of the steel stuff. Then I'm going to basically run the line back around down into the tank, and we will be golden for the fuel system after I drop the old fuel tank, which I'll also try to do tomorrow, which probably will be the hardest part to do, is to drop that old fuel tank, but here's hoping it's not that bad. So yeah, I will see all you guys tomorrow for me, but like right now for you. So okay, and it's the next day. That was really easy. Definitely didn't spend almost an hour yesterday cleaning everything up. Anyway, last night I 3D printed a little part for the gas tank, which it should just go in there perfect. Actually, just go in there perfectly. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this steel line that it should basically fit right into that hole, and I'm going to cut a little bit off, stick it into that piece, and that's going to be the end of our return line to the gas tank. And then I have this black plastic welder that we'll take the two pieces of plastic together so it doesn't move around, and then probably put a bunch of that around the pipe so it doesn't leak either. Okay, so unfortunately I accidentally screwed up and I made my tolerance a little bit too small on the inner circle, but just after taking a drill and drilling it out a little bit, it fits fine. Now I want to epoxy this into the center of the part. I think this stuff will be fine. I think this will be fine just going to the metal as well. If it does anything, it just holds it. Should be more than enough for what I need for the moment. Stuff only has a 5-minute working time, so I kind of gotta go a little bit quicker. Then wait only a couple minutes and it should be set up. So while that's all setting up, I'm going to I'm going to resume working on this. Basically just going to do exactly what is done along here. But since you guys have already seen me do the one in the cab, I'm just going to skip forward. Ha! Look at that. Okay, so now those hoses are in. Those are in as well. I also zip tied them all together to make them all a little bit cleaner. Now it brings us down to here. I have to basically get that one piece I just made, just kind of epoxied in here, and then use this hose to connect that and that other metal piece that's gonna be sticking out in here together. So first thing I gotta do is I gotta undo this ratchet strap, and then I have to get that piece epoxied and dropped in here, and then connect the hose. Okay, then I'm just going to use this rest to seal all the way around it. Now I have no more use for this gas tank. Well, obviously I'm going to use it if I do another derby. I'm going to obviously reuse it. But as of now, I currently don't have, you know, like it's not like I'm going to put it on a boat or anything like that. Okay, so she is all epoxied in there, nice and good. She definitely will not be coming out. I don't really give a crap, it's not 100% straight. I think it's straight-ish. Yeah, it's good enough. Good enough for government work. So now, once, I gotta wait like 10, 15 minutes or so, wait for that to all harden up. Then we can connect the two together. I just don't really want to play with that until it's all hardened. Wait a minute till that's hardened, then we connect that to that. Okay, so it's been probably about 20, 30 minutes or so. This is all dry, and it's nice and hard.
That's what she said!
It's not moving around at all. So now it's time just to hook up this hose to each end, and the fuel system for in here will be all run. Then I have to go underneath the car and have to drop the fuel tank. Okay, and that's the new fuel system theoretically done. We'll see if it's actually done when I actually get the car turned on and check to make sure this is all worked, but I need to drop the old fuel tank before I can even begin to think about starting the car, because if I start the car now, obviously the old fuel pump is still hooked up to the engine, so it will start just squirting fuel all the way out because it'd still be powered like it's a normal trying to start. And I can't turn the fuel pump on to test, make sure all the hose connections are good, because then I'll flood the engine because this is hooked up to the engine right now. So next thing I gotta do is I have to get rid of the old gas tank underneath the car. And well, to be honest, this is the part of the car I've kind of been dreading up to this point, is to get this fuel tank out. It does not look very fun. Let me show you why. Basically, that right there, that is the fuel tank. There are two straps that run around it that basically hold it up in place. As you can tell, everything is rusted to shit under here, so hopefully it will be easy, but I highly doubt it will. I assume what I have to do is I have to cut those two straps off and drop the tank. I've never actually dropped a gas tank before, but first things first, I gotta jack the car up and actually get a closer view of what I'm dealing with here. I guess let's just start cutting on it. I'm probably not going to record this just because it's how did I say this? Sketchy as hell, and I don't have to worry about something else. So, yeah, I'm probably just going to set you up somewhere and put you on a time lapse. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I have great fucking news. This actually came out really, really easy, if you couldn't tell in the time lapse. Gas tank's out, muffler's out, that thing's out. I even got a fucking control, whatever the hell, computer gas bullshittery out. And we have the dangerous and the sketchy part done with, I think, which is absolutely fantastic. So now I'm going to finish getting that taken off. All these lights and wires and stuff back here, all I got to get taken off. I'll just do that real quick. Okay, so I just cleaned up that wiring there. Now I kind of want to see if this thing will run. Okay, so theoretically speaking, this should all work. Connect the positive terminal, connect negative terminal. Both are good. Flip that to on. Fuck yeah! Hell yeah, bro! She worked like a beauty! Holy shit! Oh, I got a little bit of a fuel leak on that one. Other than that, the rest of them look good. It's just that one. Oh, she died. Probably is out of gas. Those look like they're probably fine. Oh yeah, they're fine. I don't feel any gas on them. And those are fine. Got it to work. Okay, so I identified one of the leak in those hose clamps right there. So I'm just gonna get those tightened really quick, and hopefully that's all the problems I have. I'm gonna put a little bit more gas in my tank because I ran out of gas. That's why it kind of died real quick on me. So yeah. Okay, so I got this. I discovered another leak back here where that plastic cracked. I got that patched. I tightened down those hose clamps up there. See if you'll run for a little bit longer. I also put more gas in it this time. Okay, she's idling, so that's good. So I took her for a little bit of a spin, and honestly, she works really fucking good. So now, next thing I want to do today, I want to get the rubber, the EDM rubber, basically spread over this gas tank. The rules state you have to have a cover over a fireproof cover over your gas tank. So I'm just going to try to use a piece of EDM rubber, spread it over it, run a couple of ratchet straps, and hopefully that'll hold it. I just need it to be held down a little bit so it doesn't flop around during the race. Okay, so we got the fuel tank covered in this fireproof stuff. It's not like fully covered. It's not fully covered, but I think for what I need to do with it, it will be fine. So yeah, now the next thing I want to do is I want to take them little lights out because they're still like lighting up and working and stuff, and I don't think that they'll like that. So I'm just going to cut those out real quick. So now it's time to begin to work on the driver's side door. Is we got to bolt that, we got to cut that piece of steel pretty much in half, bolt it onto the door in two different places, one up top, one down below. Okay, so I was able to get the one on the car, which is all good. Then just tomorrow I have to go get a bigger piece for up here. Get that put on the car. The pad, the driver's side door, I got a pad all in here, and I got a pad all up around here so that, you know, my head don't bang into the side of this. I probably will put some up around in here on the door as well to just pad it a little bit more. Make the people that are looking at the damn thing happy. So I'll see you guys tomorrow after I get more steel.
Tomorrow.
Okay, so it's the next day. I got another piece of steel went to another steel place not too far from me, so I got another piece of steel to put onto the side of the car. I also already drilled holes into it and got it cut down since I already did that yesterday. And then I also went ahead and padded the inside of the driver's door. Since that's got to go all padded, I also put some padding around the roll cage and up on the side. So I'm just going to get this put onto the car real quick. Let's just get that put on the car real quick. All right, and that's on.
So now the next thing I got to do is I got to take these little wheel weights off all the little tires. That's just basically because they don't want wheel weights, because if a tire goes out, they don't want it to be like a fucking shotgun slug going up in the crowd. So I just got to take a grinder, grind them off real quick, and pull them right out. Got to do that on all 4 tires. All right, just like that, ladies and gentlemen, all of the wheel weights are off all of the tires. Now, next thing I gotta do is gotta chain the hood and the trunk shut. So I just gotta cut a hole up in here and over in here and somewhere underneath here and underneath here, just to run a chain through, and then use a little bolt and bolt them both shut. Okay, we got the hood all nice and secured down. Now it's time for the back for the trunk. Okay, so unfortunately I need a little bit more, just like a little tiny connector piece in here. Like only like 3 or 4 chain links worth. So I'm gonna go back to the hardware store and get more, a little bit more chain, and a couple more bolts and stuff to put those 2 together. And then I also need to get like 4-foot pieces for going around here. I didn't think I need 4-foot pieces, but I do. So I'll have to go get some, and I'll be right back. So before I go to the hardware store, I'm going to actually get the chains done on either ones of these doors, so that I don't have to worry about it anymore. And if something's wrong with it, then I can just go back to, then I can just get stuff at the hardware store to fix it. So yeah, let's do it. Okay, so I went to a hardware store, got more chains. So I got 1-foot pieces to span that gap so that it'll hold it better. And I got 4-foot long pieces to go around in here to hold all that together. And then, honestly, that's all of the real big mechanical stuff I got to do to this car. That, ladies and gentlemen, that is the last of the things we're going to be even adding to this car. There's one last little thing I want to do before we say we're done, though. I just got to cut this parking brake line. It's well, it ain't attached to anything anymore, and it's just got to go so it's not dragging on the ground. Or actually, so I tied in a knot around itself. Hopefully it'll stay there. I'm just going to take a grinder real quick and just kind of cut it right here. There's just these couple of lines that will run to the fuel tank, part of the fuel system that no longer exists. So I'm gonna cut those right off. Ladies and gentlemen, the car is freaking done. Hell yeah. Well, we gotta do one more very, very big, very, very important step. Gotta paint it. But that will be in the next episode. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, so much for watching the series so far. We have a somewhat 99% complete derby car. So that's awesome. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.